Friends don't let friends do 401ks.
We should make stickers that say that.
I mean, I kind of feel like people that guilt or shame you or feel like you're foolish for not doing a 401k. It reminds me of parenting by non-parents, right? Like people that know the best for your kids.
Yes.
But they don't have kids. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Are you advancing and yet have some friends that have some antiquated financial beliefs or some judgment that's causing friction for you? How can you move forward powerfully and keep your friends if you don't share the same philosophy? Are you wondering how to navigate the world of finance with so much misinformation and myths? Look, this is a pretty important topic, so let's just go ahead and dive in.
I'm excited about this conversation today. I'm excited about all of our conversations, but I'm really
I gotta say, I love
Raymond's
the questions that we get. I mean,
Yes.
I feel like people have some really thoughtful, intelligent questions, and you can just see they're putting forth the effort in their lives for listening to what we're putting out there, looking to apply, and so it feels very good. And I know we got some new questions that we're going to bring in a few other money nerds that we have yet to unveil.
Ooh.
That so
The suspense.
So we got plenty of good stuff coming up.
Lots of exciting things going on. So we have Raymond's question today. And he says, "Hey, Garrett and fellow money nerds, thank you so much for what you do, especially your contribution to empowering our human mindset to break out from the industrial age wisdom that keeps us poor. I've been trying to kill my sacred cows, breaking the conventional money myths that was unhelpfully passed down through our parents." I've been there. We've all been there. I've been on this journey for about 3 months, and I'm on a pivotal point. I'm looking to dump my 401k, invest in real estate, and I'm currently researching cash flow banking. However, an issue exists, not so much in the financial aspect, but more of the ethical dilemma or the ethics dilemma. What should I do with my broke friends in which my wife and I mutually know? Presently, I'd like to keep them as friends. More importantly, it is good to also hear about their mistakes and remind myself not to make them again. However, at times, keeping our broke friends around and hearing their conventional wisdom is causing too much friction. What my wife hears from our broke friends, also being reinforced by her parents, is resurrecting the sacred cow. Such examples I hear are, don't be dumb to leave your 401k. You need money to retire. Pay off your house so you don't have to worry. Debt is foolish. Whole life insurance is a scam. I'd personally like to continue getting educated and take more action steps to better our life and to know and to also show them that it can be done. What do you recommend to your clients about moving forward?
Friends don't let friends do 401ks.
We should make stickers that say that.
I mean, I kind of feel like people that guilt or shame you or feel like you're foolish for not doing a 401k. It reminds me of parenting by non-parents, right? Like people that know the best for your kids.
Yes.
But they don't have kids. So my wife was a teacher, and it's hilarious because some of the students that were just the best students, she would tell the parents, and they're like, "Who are you talking about? That is not what this person's like at home," right? And my wife being a teacher, and a great teacher, by the way, my kids aren't the best at learning from her, but they're better from learning from others. So I say this because, look, when someone has never been retired and they're telling you the best retirement plan, doesn't that feel like parenting by non-parents?
A little bit.
Like they don't really know if it's going to work or not. It's all theory at this point.
Right.
They feel good about it. It gives them a warm fuzzy. It's like they're on the flight. There's not much turbulence, but it doesn't matter whether you have turbulence or not, you can still crash, right? It can just happen pretty abruptly. Yes. I know that's a terrible analogy that I just gave, and I saw the concern.
So if you have a 401k, you're going down is what you're saying.
Well, I mean,
no.
It's going to be a turbulent ride, and it's not going to be as expected. So how do we do this? Well, first, what I did early on in my life is played cash flow. The cash flow game by Kiyosaki.
Yeah,
right?
I played that with my friends too.
So that was fun. Like it's pretty interesting. It's going to be a great spark for conversation. There might be some interesting, contentious conversation that comes from it.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is start all those conversations with this intention. Hey, I want to play this game so that we could learn. But my intention is that we learn from each other instead of judge.
Yeah.
That we go in open-minded enough that we don't know everything and that we might learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd like to do is be able to adventure or be able to have a little bit of venturing out from what's been conventional, because 95% of people that have followed the conventional wisdom are not economically independent at age 65.
It's a high percentage.
So I want to find out, is there a better way?
Mm-hmm.
And who could we learn from? And why don't we look at different angles? So anytime, like there could even be friendly debates set up. There could be, one side picks one side, one side picks another. You do pros and cons. Why would it work? Why wouldn't it work?
Mm-hmm.
Who says one thing versus who says the other? How does that apply? Like, I think that, that's what's kind of cool about playing a game, like the cash flow game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 101 and there's 202. 101 I think would be suffice, but having the conversations around it, but setting the proper context.
Yeah, that's good. Like setting the container for the experience is going to help you get the most out of it.
There's so many people that apologize, like, Garrett, I'm doing a 401k. I know. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you actually put money away to do something good for your future. Now, do we want to keep doing that, or is there better options? What are the tax ramifications of that? Are you economically independent? There's other questions, but progress over perfection, it's just good to start doing something. And I remember I early on in my career, someone who was ultra bright and done very well financially, and I was just attacking their 401k. And I think that they were like, okay, I get it. Like what, and then I just had this moment where I'm like, why? I was trained by this person that said, you got to blow up the island. You got to make people feel like, I'll get off that island no matter what. So it was always pointing out all the problems. And so you hear a little bit of that is still ingrained in me to a certain degree. And some of it's because we're so indoctrinated in how these things are so beneficial that people stop thinking.
Yeah.
And when we stop thinking and hand our money over, it's a very dangerous place to be. And so I feel like I want to be an advocate. And with that being an advocate comes a lot of passion that comes along with that. But
we love the passion.
But to me, I'd be playing these games, man.
Yeah.
And look, you could share Killing Sacred Cows, which that is a great conversational piece. Wealthfactory.com/megakit, because there's 9 financial myths that we address in there. And if they're really going after whole life as being the problem, a lot of people that don't like whole life have a good reason not to. 90+% of the policies that I've seen, they're either so old that they didn't perform because they didn't ever let the death benefit increase way back in the day, or they're underfunded, or they're not with a good company. So 90% of the time, they've got a valid point. But at the same time, just because it's right for that they're attacking doesn't mean that it applies to everything.
Right.
And so, start these conversations in other places. And Killing Sacred Cows is a book that's not that much about insurance, but it is about thinking when it comes to investing. It doesn't put all the pieces together. Yeah. So I think it's the perfect guide to kind of walk people through if they're willing to listen or read to any part of that and have these conversations, have these debates, create almost like an investment club. Say, hey, we all want to get ahead. I'll have the same opinion. And why don't one month I pick a book, another month you pick a book, and then you can kind of say, what do you like and what don't you like? Because there's good in most books, some financial books. There's something that's going to be helpful. Not all of it, but something that's going to be definitely helpful. And so bring it along as like, hey, let's learn together versus I'm right and you're wrong. How does that work for you when you're told you're wrong?
Yeah, no. Defense is kicking. I'm not like, no, you're wrong.
You can get
right.
fiery. I've seen it.
I can. When I was on, my journey, and I still am on a journey of learning about finances, but my friends and I would play the cash flow banking game. And it started off with we were all kind of in a similar space in life, but then we started talking about it and having these conversations, and then we invite new people in. And people that were maybe more advanced or farther along down the path, and we would just have these conversations of why did you do that? And how did you get there? And what was your thought process behind that move? And so the dialogue continued to expand our minds, but we would also listen to podcasts together. And then we would have a dinner together, and we would just talk about the podcast over dinner. Questions that we had, concerns that we had, things that maybe triggered us in some way.
Right.
And so there's some creative ways that you can do it. I specifically am remembering a road trip that I had with some of my really close college girlfriends. And we were at the point where several were getting married. We were kind of transitioning out of a similar season of life into we're all kind of going off in different directions. And money was a conversation that it happened just to be organic, but it popped up. What are we going to do when my husband's a doctor and we're making more money, and I'm a counselor and I'm not making that much money, and someone else is a teacher. And like, how do we want to go about spending our time together? Because now our desires are changing and shifting,
Right.
our ability, our capacity for travel and adventure and the finer things of life. The chasm between us was widening, but we had this conversation. I think the road trip actually really helped a lot, because you're in the car listening to your favorite music. It's
Totally.
just kind of the space that it was the incubator for, we really want to think about these things. And now how do we help each other get to where we want to be? And so those are just a couple of examples from my life.
Cool. My wife and I invented a way that we handle our money. She has an account that money goes into. She gets to pay the mortgage and a few utilities, and everything else, she does whatever she wants with that money. I've got money that's coming in that's our investment account. Because we're economically independent, I mention what things I'm looking to invest in for us. As long as we're not using leverage or risks, she's like, great, and I let her know how much cash we have on hand at all times, because she's kind of in that, she likes that, she's that conservative, wants to know there's plenty of money there.
Yeah.
But we were trying to figure out the last time we argued about money.
It's been a while, I bet.
We couldn't remember. But before she had this account, and before we were economically independent, I'd be like, what did you buy and why did you buy it? And and she's like, I want to buy things, but I don't want to, like, if they're a gift, I don't want to have to get permission or have you see the account.
Right.
So there's we just created this system. And so what if you created a system amongst friends? And look, some friends you want to love from a distance. So my 3 categories: friends, friendly, and buddies. Friends, invite them into your life, share the most important things with them, do business with them, whatever. Friendlies, don't share anything important, keep them at a distance, be cordial, don't fight with them, but don't spend time with them if you can avoid it, if you can help it. And then buddies, just people you want to hang out with, but you're not going to be talking about these kind of things.
Yeah.
Really determine that friends group when you're building this out. Invite more than the 5 people. Get 10, 15 people, and then select it down to the top 5 that you really are accelerating, because there's support and there's accountability and there's creativity and there's co-creation, not doubt and skepticism and already learned it and knows everything and judgment. Like, you're just going to move those to the friendly category, stop inviting them to this kind of stuff, and your life will get immensely better.
Yeah. I think it's a great question from Raymond, and I like that he's curious about it. Like, I don't have to remove these people, but I can sense that there might be some toxicity coming into the new space that my wife and I are creating. So it's okay. People do come and go in our lives, but if they're really important people, it can be a challenging decision to make, or having those challenging conversations. But I like that Raymond's curious and he's asking about it, how to navigate it.
All right. That's how to navigate it, man. Good question. Turn your thoughts into profits and build the life you love.